am going to talk about driving. So first of all, what I would just like to say is that I passed my test in December, which was amazing, first time as well. And yeah, let's talk. So I'm going to get comfy first. I'm going to start off with sending away from a provisional. When you're 17, send away for your provisional. See, as soon as your birthday comes, just send it away right away if you want to drive, because I left it till I was 19, and I know that's not that long, because like some people don't even have their test, like have their license at 30, or some people have never drove in their life. But if you want to drive, then seriously do it like at a younger age, because I think if I had left my test till I was like 24 or something, I would totally have just stressed and not done it, because I'd be putting it off and I'd be putting it off and I'd be putting it off. Because that's what I done until I was 19, like put it off, put it off, put it off, until one day my dad went and got my provisional, like the wee thing you write, and I just wrote it, my name. I can't even remember what was on it because it was when I was 19 and now I'm 22. I say that as if it was years ago, but whatever. Key flung away. All you do is get, I think it's a D1 form or something you get from the post office. I'm not sure, so just double check. Just ask them for a provisional form, or I think you can even do it online now. I wouldn't risk doing it online because there's so many like forgery places. When I done it, got it when I was 19, it was £30 for your provisional. So make sure, like, because I actually tried to apply online at first for it, and there was somewhere that said it was, no, that wasn't that. Scrap that. £30 it was. £30 for the provisional, and then you had to get a passport size photo. I can't remember whether it was 1 or 2. You definitely needed 1. And you had to get a person who'd known you for 2 years, like an important person, like a police officer, a doctor, a nurse, a dentist, a teacher, somebody important, maybe a business owner. As long as they'd known you for 2 years, they had to sign it, and then you'd like stick it on the bit of paper that you've put all your details on. Then you send that away, and within 3 weeks, I think it was, might have been, it's either 14 days or 21 days, might be a bit longer, they send you your provisional card out. You had to send your passport and something else away, maybe a passport and a birth certificate away with it, but they send it back, and they send that back separately from your provisional. So don't panic if you don't get your, if you get your provisional back and you don't have your passport and that with it, because I done that. I was like, oh my god, where's my passport and where's my birth certificate? And then I realised that they send it back differently. So yeah, they send your provisional and your other documents back to you. Once you've got your provisional, that is when you can contact driving instructors. Obviously, like, you can contact them before that and maybe just say, like, can I just book for maybe a month in advance or something. But first of all, before you get a driving instructor, make sure they're good. Like, don't just go online and click the first one you come to in your area and be like, oh, I'm going to go with them. And make sure you get, like, you know who you're going with. Like, if they've got a profile on the web, like if they've got a website, like read through their website first, and don't just go with the one that is the cheapest. Obviously that's probably the best option you'd think, because all they're cheap, but cheap doesn't always mean best. Like, they might do it for £9 an hour, and then like you'll be with them for about 3 years trying to pass, because they're not really teaching you as good as you could get for somebody teaching you with £20 an hour, but they're teaching you like good, they're a good teacher, they know what they're talking about. I hope that made sense. Like, don't let the price matter, even if I'm like not poshly rich either, so like I can't afford somebody that's going to charge £30 an hour for a driving lesson. but like just make sure they've got the qualification really, and obviously they'll be fine. Anyway, get a good driving instructor, and obviously as well you need to be confident and feel comfortable with them. There's no point in like getting a male driving instructor if you're a female and you don't really like males and you feel intimidated by males, even if the driving instructor isn't intimidating you, it's just like something you hate about them. Guys, then go for a female one, and like don't feel put off by what other people say about them, like the certain driving instructors. If you want to go with that driving instructor and you feel comfortable with them, then go with them. What else? Went over a provisional, choosing a driving instructor. On my first driving lesson, I had to take my provisional with me, and he told me to wear flat shoes. So when I went out to the car at first, he just chatted with me. He was like, "Hi, my name's blah blah blah," and he sat in the driver's seat because he was going to drive me to another street, a quieter street. So he drove me to a quieter street. He took my provisional number and name and all that and wrote it down in his wee book. Then we swapped seats. He drove me to a quiet street and we swapped seats, so I was now in the driver's seat. Obviously the engine and all that was off, and he just sat and explained everything to me. The first lesson I had was an hour and a half. The first kind of like hour, he just sat and explained everything in the car, like the windows, how to open them, how to open the door, like just the simplest things. Like obviously everyone knows how to open the door, open, shut, but like it makes you feel more confident and comfortable in the car, knowing that like what everything does, like how to put a seatbelt on, make sure it's not twisted, the demisters, the mirrors, how to know when they're at the right height, your steering wheel, indicators, lights, gears, brakes, accelerator, brake, clutch, the headrest, how to adjust your seat height, everything about the car. And then in the last 30 minutes he took me, it was just a straight road, quiet road, straight up and down. So he just let me go from first gear to second gear. I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm never going to get the hang of this. But eventually when I got the hang of first gear to second gear, it was like, woohoo, I can do this, right? So don't fret. Like if you go for your first driving lesson, you're like, oh my god, I couldn't get from first to second. Who cares? No one finds it easy unless they're a pure expert. Like I took like a year and a half to pass my test, and I don't care. I've passed it now. Whatever. We'll learn at our own speeds. Where's Mum? We'll learn at our own speeds. So after my first lesson, I didn't actually think about doing my theory test until like I thought I have to book it. So I would honestly advise, like as soon as you start doing driving lessons, or even before you start doing driving lessons when you're waiting for your provisional to come through, start looking over your theory booklet. You get booklets from bookshops, you get the hazard perception on the computer, you get mock tests on the computer for the theory. So like you've got no excuse not to pass it, just keep reading up on it. Check your, like, do your signs, do your lines, like the road lines, markings, stopping distances. Like you can practice all that. And then the hazard perception, like even if you're out driving with somebody, like if somebody's in the seat, the driving seat, and you're just like being the passenger, you could be like, oh, that could be a hazard, that person's crossing the road, oh there's a wee boy up there and he's kicking a ball, that might come out, better watch him, oh there's a dog off the lead up there. Like just pay attention to everything that's in front of you. and like obviously check the mirrors and all that all the time. Well, not on the hazard perception, but like that's what the hazard perception is. It's like checking stuff in front of you. So yeah, when I went to do my theory, I passed that first time, thankfully. The theory is just basically like I applied online for it, and you can like set up your own date. So I set mine for the 31st of October. I done mine in Halloween. I didn't tell anyone, absolutely no one, only told my mum. So I paid for it, I booked it, I paid for it, and then I went and done it. And before it, when like I got the bus into town, I was like, we were trying to cram everything into my head. I went in and the woman just like said I had to take my bag and my jacket off and put it in a locker. I had to switch my phone off and put it in a locker. I had my hair down and she has to like see behind my ears and see in my ears. Not like actually in my ears, just like hold my hair up, and she like looked behind my ears to make sure that I had nothing in my ears. Up my sleeves as well, in case I had anything in my sleeves. So I had like absolutely no answers. She looked at my provisional sheet, my paper part and my card part. Then she showed me the room, so I went into the wee room, and it's like just a computer room, and it's got like a wee box, not a wee box, but it's like a voting, like what you go to vote in, like a wee ballot thing, and the wee computer sits in. And you've got headphones, so you just put the headphones on and then you read on the screen, and it says, I think it gives you like a minute or two. It says you can do a test run, like a 5-minute test run, or you can just go into it. I just went straight on and done the theory. You get 30 minutes, I think. I'm not sure, it might be 30 minutes, it might be a bit more. So I done that, and then after that you get a 2-minute break if you want, or you can carry on. But like you're not allowed to leave the room, so I just carried on. And you go into your hazard perception test. I think it's 7 clips it shows you, or is it 7 points you can get? You have to like click every time you can see a hazard. So it's like a wee video of a car driving up the street, and it could be like a wee boy running up the street away ahead of his mum, and you'd like click as soon as you've seen it, and that like scores you. I think it was from 1 to 7 it scored you. There's another clip that you get 2 points in. And then at the end of it you go out, like the computer doesn't tell you if you've passed, it just like says I'm making a video, mum. It just says that's the end of your hazard perception, and then you go out into the room, and then you get your jacket and your bag and your phone and everything out your locker, and then you go and see the wee guy, and he just hands you the bit of paper, and then you look and it says if you've passed or failed. Mine said I'd passed. Woo! And that was in the 31st of October. Was I the 30th or the 31st of October? Can't remember. Was one of them. And mum was at the bingo, and I was like, Mum, I've passed my theory test, woo! And then after that, I let my driving instructor and everyone know. And then a year later, was it a year? October. Eight, 9 months later, I passed my practical test. I applied for my practical test, I think it was £63, and I just applied for it online. Make sure you know the right kind of like website to go onto. So I applied for that, and then I'll actually tell you in another video what I've done on my practical test, because it's 14 minutes now and I've been talking so long. So I've got up to the theory bit and I've passed the theory bit, and in my next video I'll tell you what I've done in my practical test. So I'm gonna go just now, and I'll see you all later. Bye.